In 1957, a psychologist built a fake mother out of wire and wood. Then he watched baby monkeys choose between her and starvation. This is Harry Harlow, and what he found in a lab at the University of Wisconsin broke the leading theory of love, and broke something in the monkeys too. At the time, psychologists believed babies bonded with their mothers because mothers fed them. Nothing emotional about it. Strip away the milk, and the bond disappears. Harlow thought that was nonsense, so he built 2 fake mothers for infant rhesus monkeys. One was bare wire fitted with a bottle. The other was wrapped in warm cloth, but had no food at all. If the food theory was right, the babies should have loved the wire mother. She kept them alive. They didn't. The infants fed on the wire mother just long enough to survive, then raced back to cling to the cloth one, sometimes for hours. When Harlow scared them with loud noises or moving toys, they didn't run to the mother with food. They ran to the one that felt warm. Comfort beat calories every time. But Harlow didn't stop there. He wanted to know what happened to a monkey raised with no mother at all. So he built steel isolation chambers. No light, no contact, no other monkeys. He called one the Pit of Despair. Infants went in alone for weeks, sometimes a full year. At first, they screamed and clawed at the walls. Then they stopped. They curled into a corner and rocked, arms wrapped around themselves, because they had nothing else to hold on to. When released back into a group, they weren't traumatized animals that could recover with patience. They were something else entirely. They didn't understand social signals other monkeys knew from birth. They bit themselves until they bled. Some stopped eating. Approached by other monkeys, they either froze or attacked. The females who survived and later had infants of their own became what Harlow called motherless mothers, not unwilling to bond, incapable of it. Some ignored their babies completely. Others killed them. Harlow had shown that connection isn't a bonus feature of a growing brain. It's structural. Remove it during a critical window, and the wiring that handles social behavior and emotional control simply never forms. There's no fixing it later. He found that window closed at around 6 months. Past that point, the damage was, in his own words, irreversible. By the late 1960s, Harlow's work had become deeply controversial, not because he was wrong, but because of what it cost to prove it. Critics pointed out that infant monkeys screaming inside steel boxes for a year wasn't a side effect of the method. It was the method. Harlow never apologized. He believed the discovery was worth the cost. But here's what almost nobody mentions. Harlow's data didn't stay in the lab. Before his work, American hospitals routinely separated newborns from mothers for long stretches, and orphanages ran on strict schedules with minimal handling, on the theory that too much affection would spoil a child. Children raised that way often showed the same withdrawn, flattened behavior as Harlow's isolated monkeys. Nobody had connected the two. Harlow's research closed that gap. It's cited directly in the shift towards skin-to-skin contact after birth, in the redesign of orphan care worldwide, and in the theory of attachment that still shapes child psychology today. The cloth mother with nothing to offer but warmth ended up rewriting how an entire species raises its young. Which leaves an uncomfortable question. If contact isn't optional, if it's built into the blueprint of a developing brain, what happens to a generation raised more through screens than through skin? Not deprived the way Harlow's monkeys were. Nothing that extreme, just thinner, further from touch than any generation before it. Harlow never lived to ask that question. But the monkeys in the corner of the steel box, rocking, holding on to nothing but themselves, already showed us what the answer looks like when the contact runs out.